with devotion. Colossians 4:2 says, devote yourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful. Martin Luther said, I have so much to do that I shall spend the first 3 hours in prayer. The word devotion means love, loyalty, or enthusiasm for a person, activity, or cause. It also means religious worship or observance. One could say that a wife is devoted to her husband. This implies that she's loyal, faithful, consistent, committed, dedicated, and loving. She is full of fondness, love, admiration, affection, and care. Or you could say that someone lives a life of devotion. This is a life of devoutness, piety, spirituality, godliness, holiness, and sanctity. Or you could say that a time early in the day set aside to seek after God, you could call that time morning devotions. Every single morning when I was growing up, our family had a special devotion time. In these times of worship, my mother taught me how to pray. My siblings and I were all homeschooled, and devotions were an important part of the day. We'd always wake up, eat breakfast, and then we'd spend 30 minutes in devotion. We called these times 10-10-10 because we would spend 10 minutes singing along with a worship CD. Then we'd spend 10 minutes in prayer. Then we would spend the final 10 minutes listening to a preaching CD. During these morning times of prayer, we would often pray for missionaries, for our friends, for healing for sick people, for our personal finances, for God to save people in different nations, for our nation, for politicians. We pray for different ministers and for each member of our family. In fact, my mom had a big board that she had pictures of all of her friends on, and every day we'd spend time praying for all of our family friends. We'd spend time worshiping God and thanking Him for His goodness. And every evening, then we'd have another time of devotion. My mother read a Bible story to us every night right before we went to bed. She observed this practice so faithfully that to this day, when I go home, my mother still wants to read the Bible story to me. And sometimes I complain and say, Mom, I'm a grown man. I've heard these stories 1,000 times now. But she says, sit down. You still need to hear a Bible story no matter how old you are. My mother was very devoted to her prayer life, and I think we should be devoted to our prayer life too. And so set aside a time every day for your personal devotion and pray with devotion.